Hello, and welcome back to the Panel by Panel Comics channel for this week's 5 comics that I'm either buying or selling. Let's get it started. Starting it off, we have DCKO. This is the end. This is the final issue of this amazing event, and I honestly love this cover, by the way. Cover E, I thought it was really good. I was kind of bummed out whenever the actual cover A wasn't on the inside, but nonetheless, this is spoilers. This is a pretty big spoiler for just everything in DCKO, so if you have not read it, go get it. But we see the Time Trapper come with this event. We saw that at the very beginning that Bruce, Clark, Diana, and Lois were all playing this board game, and we come to find out that it actually wasn't real. This was all manifested by the Time Trapper just trying to get Clark to, in a way, just gain the system a little bit, and also Time Trapper just didn't want something bad to happen to Clark before the tournament started. And he talks about the quote that Laura Van-El told Time Trapper in Superman 35, "I am not meant to destroy you, but instead to save you, so you can destroy him, Darkseid." And that then leads to Superman gaining all of the resurrection power that Time Trapper had, and Superman basically cracks open from his little, as you see there, the little crack. He breaks out of his shell or whatever that he's in, this mummification, if you will, and then he becomes the new King Omega, which looks absolutely sick. He looks amazing. He looks like Thor, but Superman, it's really, really cool. I was just kind of bummed out. The only thing that I have against this issue is that the tournament didn't mean jack, because Lex Luthor won the tournament, but that was also part of Darkseid's plan for Lex Luthor to win, so that Time Trapper has to resurrect Superman, and then Time Trapper can never be a thing again. That's kind of the whole basis of why Darkseid had things go the way they did. But then you see Darkseid and Superman go on a battle through all time and all of everywhere. You see them fighting in Themyscira, Metropolis, Oa, and then you see that he gets the heart of Omega and he becomes the real true King Omega, and it starts talking to him, and you see that he starts putting up an even better fight against Darkseid, and you see that he's starting to picture this perfect world that he wants, where there's peace everywhere. It's basically a utopia. And then he says, "I don't want it. I don't need that. Instead, I don't want to win this by myself. I'm going to tag them in." So all of his friends, Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman, anybody that you can think of, even Lex Luthor is in this. And the Heart of Apocalypse is like, why? Why would you do this? You had a chance to win. Why? And Superman said it pretty funny. It's simple. Lois said it best. "I like games where everyone wins." Very, very cool. And he said, "My name is Clark Kent. I am not a King Omega because we don't need one. No one should hold that much power, because when only one person wins, none of us do." I mean, that's Superman for you, and you see where it's going to lead to. You see all these different people that are going to be pretty big in this next level event. And the final sentence that that Superman says at the very, very end of this comic book, not at the very end, because Darkseid says something pretty intense, because you can see where he is going with it. But he says, I couldn't find it, but I have it written down here. He said, "Above all, let it be daring and take us to the next level and beyond. That's how we all will win." Yeah. What a pin-up page there. It basically shows all of the characters that are going to be involved in the next level event, the next Act 2 of this all-in saga. But DCKO, easy, 40 pages, $6, and I would have bought it for $10. This is amazing. You have to go out and buy it if you did not. This whole event was amazing, in my opinion. yeah, this really rejuvenated my whole idea for comics. It got me right back into it after kind of being a bit on and off, not knowing where to really go with the comics, and DC has really solidified itself away from this next one, Marvel. This is the X-Men Annual. Now this could have been a whole lot better. We get to see a traditional cast. We get to see Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, and Phoenix in this issue. It was also 32 pages for the price of $5. We see them all around the campfire, just having a little talk, everybody. And it's a story where these monsters start to come in, and they come in through this portal. They look like drawings at first, and then they start to gain more of their color and their actual appearance. And Phoenix goes into one of these monsters, and she finds this former mutant who calls himself the Creationist because he can create things out of nothing. All he has to do is just picture it and he creates it. The problem is with this dude, he's not creative at all, at least according to him. So then he can't really create anything if he's not creative at all. So then you see Wolverine and Phoenix go into the creature, and then they go into the mind of the Creationist. They become drawings, and the Phoenix finds out why he did all this. And it's kind of sad. His mom was pretty abusive to him and kind of basically told him, you're a monster for being a mutant and being who you are. It was cool. The best part about this comic is just seeing the more famous and more commonly known X-Men in this comic book. But for me personally, this was a sell. Not that good. It could have been a whole lot better, and it also has nothing to do with the main line, which I know annuals aren't supposed to, but you at least see with the DC annuals, with the Absolute Batman annual, with the Absolute Wonder Woman annual, they build more of the character rather than a story that doesn't mean anything, and none of these characters are involved in the actual X-Men currently. It's just confusing. I wish it could have been a whole lot better, but yeah, X-Men Annual, that is going to be a sell for me. This next one, wow, this was amazing. Batman issue number 7, titled The Joker is Back and It All Starts Here. So in this comic, we get to see this character that we later get to find out is Josiah Jones, who worked at this facility at the Arkham Towers, and he calls up Gordon, and he also calls up Harvey Bullock, and he's like, hey, the Joker wants to talk to the guy. And they all come to Batman and they're like, hey, he wants to talk. So Batman goes to see the Joker, who looks absolutely disgusting, and he can't actually talk to him, so he talks to him through this device. And also this device on his head is the only thing keeping him going, and it's actually helping him be more of a sane human, more of an actual person that has thoughts and caring for other people around him. And Batman's like, okay, how did you get somebody to tell me that you wanted to talk whenever none of these doctors can say anything on the outside because of whatever? He basically goes through the whole story of how Josiah Jones, what is his name? Yeah, Josiah Jones came to him after Joker attacked Josiah in the past, and he basically melted half of his face, and he was laid off, and he basically wanted to enact revenge on the Joker. And the Joker says, anyways, I think that's how it happened. It's hard to tell sometimes. And the Batman goes, is that the gag, Joker? You can't remember all the horrible things you've done anymore? That monster was someone else from some other life? And Joker says, on the contrary, I remember everything. Now I'm going to try my best to show you this, but it is essentially a fold out that shows all the history of the Joker. So starting over here, I'll go. You see the Batman, you see Harley Quinn, you see Joker, and then you continue going left. You see even more of the Joker. You see the bat symbol in the sky. You see some cards. But yeah, this was really cool. It had a really cool fold out, and then it folds right back in to show the pages of I remember everything. And then the story continues on from there. I was really worried whenever I saw that first, by the way, because I thought a page was falling out of my comic book, and I was like, there's no way that a page just fell out of my comic book. And anyways, the story continues with the Joker and Batman talking to each other. And yeah, Joker says to Batman, "Do not let me out. I know I can't convince you. I can convince these other people, but you know better than anybody that I cannot come out of this prison." And then at the very, very end, Joker tells Batman basically their own secret. He tells Dr. Zeller to shut off her ears or to not listen into their conversation, because he wants this to strictly be between the Joker and Batman because of their friends or whatever this weird relationship is that they have. And it's an intriguing secret. It absolutely catches Batman or Bruce off guard, and it was amazing. So this Batman issue number 7, I am 100% buying into. This was amazing. Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez have done a great job with the start of that Batman series. Now we have an actual number 1. This is Narco. This is a 32-page comic for the price of $4. By the way, that Batman issue is 40 pages. Really, really cool. But we are introduced to this character of Marcus, and he writes a blog about serial killers. And the interesting thing about Marcus is he has narcolepsy. So anytime that his BPM goes over 200, he passes out or faints. And we get a really quick instance of what that looks like early on. He gets freaked out by this possum as it gets increasingly close to him. You hear his watch going beep, 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 beep. And it's basically telling him that his BPM is going too high. He passes out. Luckily, nothing bad happens this first time. And then we carry on and we get to meet his group of friends who are all at this diner. And you see Marcus is looking anxiously at the door because he's expecting someone. And that someone is this girl named Jessica, who is a waitress at this diner and is also his next door neighbor, or across the hall neighbor at their apartment complex. And she's like, "Wait, hold on a second. Don't I owe you a dinner because you fixed my Wi-Fi at my house?" And Marcus is a very awkward guy. He doesn't know how to ask out women. He doesn't know how to talk to women. And he ends up getting to go on a date with her. And they plan it out for Friday. And we see Jessica as she's coming back to her house, getting yelled at, having to barge into her house, and kind of being very scared because her ex, this dude named Ben, is basically like, "I refuse to let you see anyone else, Jess. I love you." And he's basically being an insane type of dude. A great example of what not to do whenever you're broken up with someone. But then you see Marcus pass out once more, and then it becomes date night. He gets everything ready, and then at the very end, you see some pretty sad stuff. Basically, Marcus passes out as she's begging for help, and you see blood on the eye hole. And Marcus sees a figure walking away, but he can't make out the face. He can only make out the shape of the human, and you don't even know if that's correct. But Narco, issue number 1, a 32-page comic for $4. This was amazing from Doug Wagner. Highly recommend that you get this if you can, if it's still available at your local comic shop. But this is another buy for the week. And now, the 5th and final book, rounding this up, we go back to DC. We have Batgirl. This is issue number 17, a 32-page comic for the price of $4. This is titled "The Curse of the Blood Starts Here." So we start off with Cassandra Cain in an absolutely terrifying situation. Her own blood is trying to kill her. It's coming out of her body and is literally trying to choke her and cut off the circulation to her head. And she's freaking out. She's like, "I don't know what to do," yada yada yada. And we cut to these two talking on the rooftop. This is the characters of Tenji and Jaya, and I assume that they were known in the earlier 16 issues of this comic. This is the first comic that I've read from Batgirl for this whole run. But then she makes it to the roof. She's like, hey guys, I need your help. And they are trying to figure out what's wrong with her. And she's basically saying, we need to find the Blood Master because of my relatives. I'm related to the people of Blood Power origin. We need to find the Blood Master. So they go to this party where the Blood Master Wu Lin is going to be at. They track him down. They go and fight these ninjas, and Cassandra Cain the whole time is battling the blood at the same time because it's still trying to get at her, it's still trying to kill her. And she is the whole time throughout the comic with this inner monologue. She keeps saying, I am not a monster, I am not a monster, don't become a monster, yada yada yada. I am a good person. And at the very end, she's like, screw it, I can't fight this thing, I'm just gonna embrace it. And whenever she embraces it, that's whenever everything starts to work for her. It becomes great, and she easily takes care of these ninjas. And then she sees at the very end, Wu Lin, the Blood Master, is opening a portal to the Shadow World. That could potentially be the reason that these powers have instantly hit Cassandra Cain, but we know also DCKO wrapped up in this, and we don't know if that could also be the reason that this is happening. But Batgirl, issue number 17, I will get the next issue, but if it's not good, I will drop it, because this is one of those books where you like it, you find it intriguing, but you need to see a little bit more. That's the case with Batgirl number 17, but I will still buy into it. But guys, let me know your opinion on those 5 books. Are you buying or selling them? What book is the book that you're looking forward to the most and that you have appreciated or have already read and you think it's the pick of the week? Let me know down in the comments. But remember guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And also stay healthy, stay great, and have a great rest of your day.